Dennis Weaver was one of the most popular TV actors of the 1950s and 1960s, especially for his role as Chester Goode on Gunsmoke. But why did such a well-loved character leave the show? What really happened behind the scenes that made Dennis Weaver leave a role he had played for almost 10 years? The story behind his departure is full of surprises, and the truth behind his decision might make you feel bad. Let's find out from a famous actor who became a well-known TV star. Dennis Weaver was a talented athlete with a bright future in track and field. He was born on June 4, 1924, in Joplin, Missouri, and grew up in a modest home where hard work and perseverance were important values. He was very good at sports and competition as a child, especially in the decathlon. His athletic ability earned him a scholarship to the University of Oklahoma, where he initially wanted to become a professional athlete. However, when World War II broke out, like many young men of his generation, he put his personal goals on hold to serve his country. After completing his military service, he returned home and resumed his education at the University of Oklahoma. He went back home and started school again at the University of Oklahoma. He kept running track and field, proving that he was a very talented athlete. But even though he was naturally gifted, he started to wonder if sports were really his passion while he was in college. Weaver had his first taste of acting, and it ignited something in him that sports never did. He was attracted by the excitement of performing on stage, the chance to inhabit multiple roles, and the emotional depth of storytelling. His teachers and classmates supported him. He made the brave choice to give up his dream of becoming a professional athlete and instead pure of Hollywood's biggest stars with the help of the best acting coaches. Weaver's first years as an actor were not easy at all. He had trouble finding steady work like many other aspiring actors, so he took on small roles in Broadway shows and Hollywood movies. He was passionate about acting, but the road to success was long and uncertain. He even took odd jobs to make ends meet while he waited for his big break. That break finally came when he auditioned for Gunsmoke, a Western TV show that was quickly becoming popular. Weaver got the part of Chester, the loyal Sioux career in acting when he graduated. He learned that while he loved sports, his true calling was in the performing arts. Weaver came to New York City, the hub of American theater, to fully immerse himself in the craft he learned at the famed Actors Studio. He honed his talents and got ready for the very competitive entertainment industry at Studio, a well-known school that has trained some and kind-hearted person. Matt Dillon's deputy. His portrayal of Chester was unusual. He gave the character a characteristic limp, and in his honest demeanor made him one of the most liked people. Sidekicks on TV over the years. Chester immediately became a fan favorite, and Weaver and James Arnes, who played James, had great chemistry. The show was even more charming with Matt Dillon in it. His ability to add warmth, comedy, and depth to the part helped make Gunsmoke one of the best westerns ever. Dennis Weaver went from being a struggling actor to a household figure following Gunsmoke. He made his mark on Hollywood history after leaving the show. Dennis Weaver kept acting and got a lot of great roles that showed he was much more than just Chester. He quickly moved on to new projects because he wanted to get away from the image of the loyal but limping deputy that had made him famous. One of his first big roles after Gunsmoke was in the TV show. In the show Gentle Ben, he played Tom Wedo, a wildlife officer raising his family in the Florida Everglades. The drama had a strong family theme. Weaver was able to show off a different side of his acting skills in a movie about a young boy and a bear who became friends. However, his biggest success after Gunsmoke was in the 1970s when he got the lead role in McCloud, a crime drama series that was part of NBC's mystery movie lineup and became a huge hit. Deputy Marshal Sam McCloud was a cowboy-style lawman from New Mexico who was sent to work in New York City. Weaver had a chance to recast himself as a top television personality in McCloud, which blended action, humor, and drama. The show ran for 7 successful seasons from 1970 until 1977. The part got him critical acclaim and cemented his status as a versatile actor capable of taking on complex characters. Despite his success with McCloud, Weaver faced challenges in finding new roles. Having played Chester Goode for nearly a decade, many producers found it difficult to envision him in different types of characters. Type casting was a common problem for actors of long-running television series, and Weaver was no exception. Still, he refused to be defined by a single role. He continued Working in television and film throughout the 1980s and 1990s, appearing in a variety of projects including guest roles in popular TV shows and made-for-TV movies with perseverance and dedication, Dennis Weaver had a long career that lasted for decades. He went from being a beloved sidekick on Gunsmoke to a confident leading man on McCloud, showing his range and talent. Chester Goode was one of his most famous roles, but he was much more than just one character. His career after Gunsmoke made him one of the most well-known and respected faces on American television, despite his personal life and heartbreaking tragedies. Besides his amazing career in Hollywood, Dennis Weaver's personal life was full of both lasting love and heartbreaking tragedies. Many celebrities have trouble keeping long-term relationships because of the pressures of fame, but Weaver beat the odds and built a strong and lasting marriage that lasted through World War II. Weaver married Jerry Stowe, who would be his lifetime partner and biggest support. Their love story lasted more than 60 years, which is rare in the entertainment field. Together, they raised 3 sons, Richard, Robert, and Rustin Weaver. Even though he had a busy job, Weaver always put his family first, making sure that his kids grew up in a secure and loving home. The couple built their life away from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, choosing a quieter life that focused on family values, nature, and community involvement. Their relationship was a testament to their shared commitment, built on mutual respect and deep affection. Even as Weaver's fame grew, he stayed grounded, crediting Jerry for being his rock through the ups and downs of his career. However, despite their strong family bond and seemingly idyllic life, in 2003, the Weavers were not immune to heartbreak. A tragedy happened in the most unexpected and horrible way. Lynn Weaver is Weaver's daughter-in-law. The mother of his son at the Santa Monica Farmers Market, Robbie, died in a terrible tragedy. When an old driver lost control of his car and crashed into a gathering of people who didn't see it coming, the market's pleasant vibe was ruined. The accident happened to shoppers. Took the lives of 10 people, including Lynn, and the Weaver family was in profound mourning after her death since it was so startling. Losing a loved one is always hard, but losing someone in such a quick and tragic way was very hard. The grief was too much for the family to handle for a long time. Dennis Weaver was a man who was always renowned for being strong and tough. This tragedy was a terrible reminder of how fragile life is. Delicacy, the loss was hard for him and his family, and it stayed with them for years. Weaver had his own health problems, even though he had always been active and lived a healthy life. He was diagnosed with cancer in his later years, even though he was already sick. He stayed hopeful and kept working on things that were important to him, like environmental advocacy. He lived in Ridgway for the last few years of his life. Colorado, where he loved the stunning natural beauty. On February 24, 2006, Dennis Weaver died at the age of 81, leaving behind a legacy that went far beyond his acting career. His death was a huge loss for his family and friends, as well as for the millions of admirers who had admired him for decades. He was a well-known character actor on American television and a dedicated advocate for the environment, even if he is no longer with us. Weaver's work still has an impact on television today, and his attempts to promote sustainability and protect the environment are still important. Consciousness serves as an inspiration for many. More importantly, his life is a reminder of the power of love, which is dedication and strength in the face of both success and failure. His effort keeps his legacy alive. His work as an advocate and the deep impact he made on the people who knew and loved him. Weaver and his contributions to the environment. One of the lesser-known but very important things in Dennis Weaver's life was how dedicated he was to environmental matters long before sustainability and alternative energy became popular. Weaver was already fighting for a greener world. He was sure that economic progress and environmental responsibility could go hand in hand, which is why he set up the Institute of Economics in 1993. Weaver came up with the word economics to blend ecology and economics to show his vision of a future where businesses may thrive without harming the environment. This nonprofit group helps people and the world at the same time. Weaver pushed for the development of alternative energy sources like hydrogen and wind power. He actively advocated to make America less reliant on fossil fuels, seeing early on the environmental and geopolitical effects of relying too much on oil. In 2004, he went above and beyond, giving speeches and starting projects. Weaver set out on an ambitious tour across the country in a fleet of cars that ran on alternative fuels. The goal of this campaign was to raise awareness about clean energy and show that there were already good solutions. His activism in this area gained him respect and made him a well-known voice in the environmental movement. However, Weaver's commitment to sustainability was not just about public advocacy, it was also very personal. He built an eco-friendly home in Ridgway, Colorado, which he called Earthship. The innovative home was built with recycled materials like tires, cans, and bottles, and it also used solar energy. It was a model of self-sufficiency, showing that living sustainably could be both practical and comfortable. It was proof of his unwavering belief that people could make a real difference in protecting the environment. In addition to supporting energy, Weaver also supported animal rights and humane treatment programs. He was heavily involved in the Genesis Awards, which celebrated people in the news and entertainment industries. The Genesis Awards were a way to raise awareness about animal welfare issues. They were started by the Ark Trust and then adopted by the Humane Society of the United States. They were also a way to promote the ethical treatment of animals. Weaver really cared about his enthusiasm for living in a way that is good for the environment and others. He thought that the future was a personal philosophy. Future generations will look back in disgust at how people used natural resources and ate animal products, just like how people today look back at cruel behaviors from the past. His outspoken ideas on vegetarianism and living sustainably were ahead of their time, making him a pioneer in EOC-conscious campaigning. Dennis Weaver's legacy goes far beyond his work on TV. While many people remember him for his roles in Gunsmoke and McCloud, his work as an environmental activist is still important today, even after he died. His work continues to inspire people who want to make the world a better place. Dennis Weaver left Gunsmoke not because of fights or problems, but because he wanted to expand and find other opportunities, even though he had to deal with some problems at first. In the end, he showed how versatile he was as an actor by getting additional memorable roles and cementing his status as one of America's most popular TV performers. He made a lasting difference on the world through his work as an actor, as well as his work as an environmentalist and philanthropist. Dennis Weaver's story isn't just about an actor quitting a hit show. It's also about a man who always wanted to improve, worked hard for important causes, and kept loyal to his beliefs. What do you think about his choice to leave Gunsmoke? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any more interesting news.